Today. Right. I'll take it away. Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes on the streets, and we do our best to bring you trending stories from across the globe and Nigeria in order to have some productive and hopefully interesting dialogue about these stories that are making the headlines. In our first submission, the Nigerian music superstar Davido is not one to stay silent when it comes to his family. This week, tensions flared after Honorable Timothy Owoye, the former Speaker of the Oshun State House of Assembly and APC stalwart, publicly declared that the governorship ticket of the All Progressives Congress is not for sale to the Adeleke family. Now, these comments came shortly after Davido, his billionaire father, Dr. Adedeji Adeleke, and his uncle, Oshun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, paid a high-profile visit to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. While many people speculated that the visit signaled a possible political crossover, Honorable Owoye wasn't having it. During a press conference in Osogbo on the 4th of June, he emphatically shut down any such idea, making it clear that the APC ticket door was, in his words, not open to the Adelekes. Take a look.
Say this categorically that APC ticket is not for sale. As a matter of fact, as at today, we don't see Adeleke as member or part of APC as a party. Let me be sincere with you. The APC in Osun State remain the party to beat, if not because of the fear of unknown that is disturbing Adeleke family and PDP. They wouldn't have showing the intention of coming to APC. APC ticket, come the income sunshine, is not for sale for Adeleke family.
Davido is a man who is never shy with his comebacks, and he clapped back in a typical cheeky fashion. He referenced a alleged viral incident that plagued Honorable Timothy Owoye a couple of years ago, and the governor of Osun State's son, Bayo Adeleke, joined him, and they both commented laughing emojis under this post of Honorable Timothy Owoye. This was very, very interesting to watch. We've often talked several times on this show and on this segment about if Davido did decide to run for office. He's a man of the people. Would it be possible for him to transform his celebrity influence into political power? Because he does come from a political lineage. And there was some public sentiment that was stating that why would Honorable Timothy Owoye say that it's not for sale? Is he implying that the Adelekes often use their wealth or their influence to get political power, political favors? Let's take a look at social media. At Olaski, it said, "Sir, for the Adeleke family to visit Mr. Excellency is not a taboo, sir. It's a show of respect." And His Royal Highness King Emeka says, "I told you guys that David's visit to Aso Rock is to pave the way for his uncle's re-election. Osun State is a tough state politically. The margin of victory in the last election was very slim. The president's cousin and current minister is still a formidable force in Osun State. The dancing governor wants to join APC and wants an automatic ticket. If the president agrees to this, it will destroy the APC political structure in Osun. I don't think this is good overall for Osun State." I'll tell you now that Governor Adeleke has bigger fish to fry. He's just recently dragged the federal government to court for withholding local government allocations, but he's still paying the local government staff. So he's got bigger fish to fry, and he hasn't officially come out to say he's going to be defecting anytime soon. But we wait and watch as the elections come up. In another development, once hailed as a rising star in African tech circles, Nigerian programmer Sapphire Egemasi is now facing up to 20 years in a U.S. federal prison for her alleged role in a multi-million-dollar cyber fraud ring targeting American government agencies. Now, she styled herself as a tech queen, but was arrested by the FBI in April in the Bronx, New York. According to the U.S. court documents that are now circulating, she was a key player in transnational syndicate led by Ghanaian national Samuel Kwadwo Osei. She allegedly used her software skills to create fake U.S. government websites that tricked employees into giving up secure login credentials that the syndicate then used to loot public funds. Investigators are saying that the group stole millions of dollars between the years 2021 and 2023. In one case, they allegedly diverted about $965,000 from the city of Kentucky into a fake account. But I think what's truly stunned followers about this story was the double life that this young lady led. On social media, she flaunted designer fashion items, the latest tech gadgets, and glamorous getaways to places like Greece, Portugal, and France. And her online image was full of curated selfies, motivational posts, and big girl energy, which earned her a cult and big following among young African tech aspirants. Now, people are saying that the glittering image was funded almost entirely by fraud and cybercrime. Egemasi and her several co-defendants are currently in custody and they are awaiting trial in Lexington, Kentucky. If they are convicted, they do face up to 2 decades in prison and possible deportation. I think that tech is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you have it empowering young African techpreneurs. On the other hand, you have people like this young lady weaponizing it for cybercrime. And I hope that this narrative, this story, doesn't change the view of young African techpreneurs. We have people like Inyolu Adedeji, the co-founder of Flutterwave. We have Ezra Olubi, the co-founder of Paystack, who have actually used tech to empower the African digital space. So I'm not going to look at our story, I'm going to look forward. Let's take a look at social media. General Junku says, don't envy what you don't understand. Many people have lifestyles that are funded on crime and fraud and other questionable sources, and it's important not to make them your standard. Face your front and your own journey. And Rupert says, this is why everyone needs to practice contentment. As long as you're putting in the work and doing your best, whatever anyone on the internet has should not move you. Everything is not as it seems, especially on the internet. Indeed, team, we are constantly talking about how there are real-life repercussions for our digital footprint and our digital character. So this is very, very interesting to see this young lady, tech queen, calling herself tech queen, even teaching people how to get into software development, now saying that she's a fraud.
For me, my greatest worry or feeling about that is that she's Nigerian, and she has sort of underscored the very bad image that people have about our country. If God has given you a skill, try as much as you can to use it for positive things, not negative things. Unfortunately for her, she is going to cool somewhere and think about her good behavior or bad behavior as you may want to think about it.
I'd like to take that story as well. It goes to show that all that glitters is not gold. And that some persons, live certain lives that if you search, you get to know that there's something dark about them at the end of the day. It also reminds me of some persons in the tech space who work in banks who steal customers' monies, and then those banks try to cover up for them so that it wouldn't impact their image. It's just sad that we are seeing some development when we're talking about technology, how it's empowering people, but other persons are using it to steal others blind at the end of the day. I hope that if she's found guilty, as she cools her feet in prison, she'll relive those memories she lived and make the right decision at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And Olamide, when you check her Instagram, the lifestyle she was living is just totally unmatched. And I tell people, be your own role model. That's why I say it, because you look at some of these people on social media, you feel like you're not doing well. I'm sure a lot of tech people were looking at her and saying, what am I doing with my own brain? It's so sad that she's Nigerian, and then I also know there's a Ghanaian involved as well. I tell people as Africans, we need to portray Africa in the right manner. It's sad that this has happened, and it's now a dent on, tech in Nigeria. But I know that there are tech people that also do great at what they do. If she's found guilty, she definitely needs to face the wrath of the law.
Davido has unarguably done quite a number of great things for himself,
The man of the people.
A great name that has emerged from this country, and we love him quite a lot, and we can't sometimes separate him from his background. Very wealthy, politics, education, and all of that. So we wait to see in the coming days what would happen, Lamide, as to what his uncle said. This young lady that has done this about this country, she's one in a million. We have more, Nigerians all across the world in different sectors doing absolutely well, excellently well, putting a good green, light on the country. And so I'm saying this to the rest of the world who sometimes chime on one item of a bad news about Nigeria to say we are bad. Look to the various other persons across the world who are doing great things about this country. Please, and let's keep the name of Nigeria afloat for all things good. After all, we're celebrating Salah today. Hello.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that submission. Indeed, she was a small girl with a big God. Moving on, in another development, Kenyan President William Ruto is drawing attention online after making light-hearted remarks about what he called a growing trend of Kenyan women marrying Nigerian men, including his own 2 daughters. Now, speaking at a recent wedding ceremony, Ruto humorously noted that this development could signal a romantic brain drain, suggesting that Kenyan men might be losing their women to Nigerian men when it comes to matters of the heart. Take a look.
Say this
to Nigeria. And our guys around, I don't know. Sijui wako slow ama so we need to balance these scales, because at this rate we are going to have a brain drain from Kenya. I think there is something between Kenya and Nigeria, so we should build it further.
Beyond the jokes, he did acknowledge that the unions between Kenyans and Nigerians reflect the growing friendship and cultural ties between the 2 countries, and he's encouraged both countries to continue building on that connection, pointing out that relationships like these help to bridge communities across borders. But of course, Nigerian men on social media have taken this opportunity to agree with President Ruto, saying that Nigerian women have bad character and they're no longer interested. Us too are no longer interested. Very, very interesting. We have seen a rising trend of Nigerian men going for Eastern African women, Southern African women, and we've got to ask ourselves, why is this happening? But let's take a look at social media. Nigerian men are really chiming in here. They had a lot to say. Let's take a look at what you guys had to say. At The Real Daddy Mo says, Nigerian men are doing exploits around the world and in high places. We are a force to be reckoned with. Confidence, charisma, and charm, Niger. I know there's a celebrity called, I won't call his name, but he was having issues with his Kenyan baby mama. So, Adoladele says, Nigerian men excel at caring for their women. So, but unfortunately, Nigerian women often take it for granted and fail to appreciate it. Women from other countries, however, value this care, so the choice is clear. We are so sorry, Oladele, forgive us. In international news, although they were once political allies, tech mogul Elon Musk and President Donald Trump are now embroiled in a public feud that has captured national and indeed global attention. The rift began when Musk criticized Trump's new tax legislation called the Big Beautiful Bill, arguing that this bill would increase the federal deficit and harm elite electric vehicle incentives, directly impacting Elon Musk's Tesla business. Now, in response, Trump has accused Musk of self-interest and threatened to terminate government contracts with Elon Musk's companies, including SpaceX and Tesla. This escalation led Musk to allege that Trump is mentioned in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation, further intensifying their dispute. The fallout has, of course, had tangible effects. Yesterday, Tesla stock plummeted by 16%, and Elon Musk announced plans to decommission SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft. He has also hinted that he will form a new centrist political party, signaling a potential shift in the political landscape. This is very interesting. They are both businessmen at heart, and I think that Trump expects absolute allegiance from Elon Musk because of his past support of him and his businesses, whereas Elon Musk is saying, I will not be politically cornered. This is very interesting. When 2 elephants fight, indeed, the ground shakes. This is, and let's take a look at social media. But for Elon Musk to allege that Trump is mentioned the Epstein files, you know, the pedophile files, this is a very big and dangerous allegation. And right now, people are waiting to watch what Trump will post on Truth Socials. He's yet to respond to these claims about him being in the Epstein files. That is a big allegation to make against the president of America. Drew Hernandez says, hey, at Elon Musk, I'm curious. If what you're saying about Trump being in the Epstein files is true, how long have you known this? And why did you wait until now? Were you planning on just sitting on this forever? Genuine questions now that you have decided to release blackmail. We'll take some more tweets on this. Now, this is a tweet directly from Elon Musk. He says, this is time to drop the really big bomb. The real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. That is vile. We'll take a few more tweets. Onion Person says, if you knew this, why did you willingly work with a pedophile? Because Elon Musk, that is what you are insinuating by saying he's in the Epstein files. We'll take 2 more tweets. That is all we have on that for now. In our final story, after the federal government, through the National Orientation Agency, cautioned popular Abuja automobile dealer Alamin Sarkin Mota over his controversial advert videos where he was seen taunting and mocking civil servants for their inability to afford his high-end cars, it seems that the dealer has turned a new leaf, and now he has a message for everyone who thinks that his car sales are only for the elite or the uber rich. He's saying that he also sells bikes, he sells Nissans, he sells cheap cars. And so I thought I'd take this because this is indeed a redemption story. So if you are, in quotes, a civil servant, who knows, he might have a little package for you. But before I hand over to my team, I'd like you guys to please chime in with the hashtag trending now on TVC on any social media platform of your choice. And who knows, I might take a tweet or two. Team, and I want to direct this directly to Veronica and Ria. Now that the men are increasingly going to Kenya and South Africa, what are we going to do? How are we going to cope with this brain drain of our Nigerian men? What will we do now?
Answer this question because she's not yet married.
Right. Exactly. No, but of course I would marry a Nigerian. Nigerian men are the best. Are we arguing about if Nigerian men are the best? They are not even arguing about it.
Nelson,
they are the best.
Nelson, are you going to go to Kenya? They are the singles here.
But I also think that Nigerian men do not really like Nigerian women. Or is it just me? Or
I agree with you.
Is it like that? Okay.
Nigerian women are the best women on earth.
Hey. You want to put Nelson on the spot? The way Nelson is behaving is as if we're soon going to have IVs. And,
I don't know all about the way I'm behaving.
The way you are behaving, I know the IVs are being printed right now.
Glory.
You know, so these stories you brought are so interesting. I'm finding it difficult to choose which one I should comment on. But when you have this problem, you want to go for the big fish, isn't it? Donald Trump, Elon Musk, there are people in the United States of America that are having a party right now that these two people are fighting each other because quite a number of people believed that Donald Trump was practically selling the United States to Elon Musk. And Donald Trump came up with his Trump card about his tax reform, which seeks to tax the rich much more than the poor. And that's why, what was his name again? Mr. Tesla, Elon Musk, decided that, look, man, I have to hit this guy. It is good that things like this are happening.
All right.
And they say when 2 elephants fight, the grass suffer. But in this case, when these 2 elephants fight, the grass will grow greener.
Interesting. It's like how we say in local parlance in Nigeria that a trailer passed in between them, and so there's a huge gulf between them right now. And it's funny that both of them express the same energy. Both of them are petty, and they are all already showing their pettiness towards each other. This one is planning this, that is planning that. At the end of the day, I just want what's best for America. That's it.
Exactly, and I'll talk about Sarkin Mota. I'm really happy that and I love the fact that you took the follow-up story, Olamide. I'm happy that he's realized that he will be in problem and what he was doing is wrong, and he's come out to say otherwise. So I hope that he takes notes, and from now he knows what he says while he's advertising.
And I'll just stick to the marriage conversation between the Kenyan and the Nigerian people. I just love that. I mean, love is a beautiful thing, and to see the cross-continental ties between Nigeria and Kenya. I wouldn't say we should see more of that, but I just like the idea of it. It's cool.
Are your eyes going there, Nelson?
You know.
You see, in Africa, Nigerian men, Not only in Africa, because recently in London we were having that same story, that girls are going for Nigerian boys.
Yeah, but
they got steez or something.
Apart from the steez, they are
amazing. You're shocked that I use that balance, eh?
They are amazing. Apart from the steez, they are caring, they are loving. Like Nigerian men, just give it
coming
to
from
them,
the Ghanaian, wow, this is so good. I'm sure a Nigerian man is anyway. Let me.
But that is actually the truth about Nigerian men. We are very caring. All round.
Not all.
I would say that Nigerian men are providers. I don't know if you are completely, extremely caring or full of emotional intelligence, but I will say, no shade, but I will say that you guys are, you're providers. Yes. And I think that these Southern and Eastern African women, who traditionally in their culture are not used to being provided for like that, they're always sharing the bill. So this is it's a novelty for men. Nigerian men are wow.
Right. That's why South African women love Nigerian men.
Absolutely.
Because they are providers. They like to show off. And often at time, what Nigerian men like to do is they show off through their women. So they spend so much, and it's like, oh, that's my woman going there. And you know that, it's a thing of pride for the Nigerian man. So if you're not spending for your woman, just know.
Well, you know the vibe already. Men, they have to be providers.
Oh, I love this. I love this.
Love is a beautiful thing, so you cannot take that away from it,
Sure. Absolutely. It's a beautiful thing. And thank you, Olamide, for those beautiful and interesting stories. This is where we have to draw the curtains on the program for today. Let's let you know that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View with the Ladies, and afterwards this morning with Yori Folaring. Do remember to take care as you celebrate Salah. Bye. Bye.